Welcome back to Stock Kong Invest and Analysis, where we look at the market and break down the opportunities.
Like and subscribe!
Rare Earth. Government Giveths, Government Takeths away. This article was written by Stone Fox Capital. Summary. USA Rare Earth secured a major $3.1 billion capital raise, including government and private funding, to accelerate mine and magnet facility development. USAR's shareholder dilution tops 50%, but the company advances its Round Top mine timeline to 2028, aiming for strategic U.S. supply chain relevance. Despite sector volatility and lack of government pricing guarantees, USAR targets $2.6 billion revenue and $1.2 billion adjusted EBITDA by 2030. With a market cap of approximately $6 billion and 5 times 2030 EBITDA multiple, USAR offers compelling value despite pricing risks and unfair competition from China. I am Mark Holder, aka Stone Fox Capital, a CPA with degrees in accounting and finance. I lead the investing group Outfox the Street, where I attempt to uncover potential multi-baggers while managing portfolio risk via diversification. The rare earth sector is not for the faint of heart, with USA Rare Earth Inc., USAR, doubling off the recent lows and getting back a sizable portion of those gains within weeks. The rare earth miner got a major investment from the government at a dilutive cost, but the sector faces major concerns over the lack of pricing guarantees when competing against the Chinese. My investment thesis remains bullish on the stock as the company pushes to become a major supplier of rare earth minerals, metals, and magnets. To start last week, USA Rare Earth announced a major capital raise of $3.1 billion plus warrants as follows. $1.3 billion, senior secured loan from the CHIPS Act. $277 million, 16.1 million shares at $17.17. $300 million, 17.6 million warrants at $17.17. $1.5 billion private capital raise for 69.8 million shares at $21.50. The stock is already trading over the warrant price, so the company is highly likely to raise the additional $300 million in capital from the warrants. USA effectively sold over 103 million shares, diluting shareholders by over 50%. The company entered a non-binding letter of intent with the U.S. Department of Commerce, requiring the issuance of shares and warrants as President Trump has pushed the government to take equity stakes when helping the company advance the plans to build out the magnet manufacturing facility in Oklahoma and the rare earth mine in Texas called Round Top. In total, USA Rare Earth has plans totaling $4.1 billion in costs, and the government funding was seen as a huge positive to get the necessary capital to move forward. Until recently, USA Rare Earth was looking at more of a 2030 timeline for the rare earth mine development project in Texas, but the company pulled forward the timeline to late 2028. The company had a cash balance of approximately $350 million at the end of 2025, but clearly these projects require additional funding of up to $600 million beyond the immediate access to $3.5 billion, though the outstanding warrants from the SPAC deal and the government would cover a large amount of the additional costs. The company has huge plans to ramp up magnet production to 10,000 TPA from only commissioning the initial 600 TPA line this quarter. The metal making will ramp up to 27,500 TPA, with 10,000 TPA reshored into the Stillwater facility in the U.S. Naturally, the mining output goes from zero production now to 40,000 tons per day, plus an additional approximately 8,000 TPA from third-party providers by 2030. Lack of pricing guarantees. The whole rare earth and critical metals sectors sold off on January 29 after the government seemed to pull back from pricing guarantees. MP Materials, MP, has obtained a pricing floor guarantee when completing a similar fundraising back in 2025, and the market was expecting some similar deals considering the whole risk to the investment story is the Chinese government undercutting prices in order to force U.S. firms out of business. Back on the investment call, USA Rare Earth CFO William Steele had already informed the market that the deal included no price floors or offtake due to the huge demand outside of China. I mean, this is one of the features of this transaction, in part because of what we have at Round Top, and so there are no price floors, there are no offtake agreements associated with this. And that's really because the minerals that we have are frankly in dramatic undersupply outside of China and are absolutely required for things like semiconductors, aerospace and defense, and of course, the metals and magnets that we need. In addition, if you look at the actual minerals themselves, think dysprosium, think terbium, think yttrium. These are all things that actually are not produced in any large quantities outside of China. A lot of investors appear skeptical the market will work correctly if China were to attempt to undercut prices. In theory, the whole aerospace, defense, and semiconductor space would prefer reliable rare earth supplies, but the market is likely to have concerns up until proven otherwise. USA Rare Earth is forecasting a 2030 revenue target of approximately $2.6 billion, with an adjusted EBITDA of $1.2 billion. Naturally, a big question is how reliable the pricing points are for magnets and the rare earth materials. Per the investor call, the company will have a fully diluted share count of approximately 280 million shares outstanding after the deal with the government is complete, sending the market cap to $6.2 billion. USA Rare Earth suggests the U.S. government required 10% of the outstanding stock, amounting to 17.6 million warrants, suggesting the company had 176 million outstanding shares prior to this deal. The company will issue 85.9 million shares via the capital raises for 261.9 million shares outstanding, plus the 17.6 million warrants, or a total share count of 279.5 million. Naturally, the external equity offering is the only offering finalized. The federal government's deal is only an LOI for now. The stock is attractive with a price of only 5x the 2030 adjusted EBITDA target, and the company only taking on $1.3 billion in debt, though USA Rare Earth still has a long path to achieving these financial targets. The biggest risk to the story is the business not having full protection from China. USA Rare Earth has a long path to proving out this risk as non-existent. Not to mention the company has a long list of heavy rare earths to process at Round Top without a real marketplace for the minerals, so analyzing the price swings will be tough. In addition, the US lacks a lot of expertise in rare earths and magnets, so the path to full production could be far tougher than projected, and the company will need to fund ongoing operating losses. Takeaway. The key investor takeaway is that USA Rare Earth is a compelling rare earths play due to the scarcity of the products and minerals the company plans to offer via a major ramp-up schedule through 2030. As the rare earth and magnet market demand grows, the company should have more upside potential due to both additional production and higher prices of the scarce products. Investors should look to buy the stock on weakness as the stock swings up and down based on volatility around closing the government funding and confusion regarding pricing floors and offtake agreements. This article was written by
Hey viewers, like and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you more insightful stock analysis. It's going to be wild.